Ayan, so in this video, we'll be learning about the income statement. So may mga questions tayo dito na hanggang number 20 na nakuha natin sa accountingcoach.com. So try natin sagutan. So let's start. Number 1. Which of the following names is not associated with the income statement? The answer here is the statement of financial position. So because this belongs to the balance sheet. Ayan. Number 2, the income statement heading will specify which of the following it is a period of time. So we have an example of an income statement here. Number 2, here it is a single step income statement, and here it is a multi-step income statement where here all the expenses is compiled. So dito naman lahat ng revenues pinagsama-sama. Hindi katulad dito na medyo halo-halo siya kasi bakit? Kasi kailangan natin makita yung gross profit, yan. Gusto din makita natin yung operating income at yung non-operating income. Kaya siya naging multi-step. So ano yung ibig sabihin natin ng period of time? Here in the income statement, it shows the profitability of a company in a duration of time. So here it is 5 months. So maybe in other income statement, we can here for example, financial statement for the year ended, 1 year siya, dito 5 months. Yan. So ano ba yung format ng income statement? So dito una yung pangalan ng company. This is wrong. We should drop this down. Yan. Second is the income statement or the profit or loss statement or the statement of operations, and the third line should be the for the year ended December 31, 2020. Then we proceed to the numbers. So let's go back. Number 3, the amounts earned by company in its main operating activities, and take note of the main. Pag main revenues, per pag unusual, it is gains. Number 4, a company disposes equipment that it no longer uses in its business. So this is a gain. Yan. Yun yung madalas na gain or loss, yung pag nagbenta ng equipment or pag bumili. Kasi unusual siya, minsan lang siya mangyari. Yan. So take note that the amount carried is more than the amount received is more than the asset carried. So it must be a gain. Number 5. On December 1, a company borrowed 100,000 of 12% per year. The interest will be paid quarterly with the first payment due on March 1. What should the company report on its income statement for December? And so it would report an interest expense of 1,000. So why? Because of the assumption of the here, let's go back here. Because of the conceptual framework of the revenue recognition principle, that even though that we have not paid pa the interest because it is due on March, but since as time goes by, we must recognize the expense. That's the expense recognition principle. So how do we derive from 1,000? So here so 1,000 times its interest rate times 1 over 12, but 1. Kasi December 1 siya. From December 1 to December 30. Yan. And 12 is the annual rate. So, 12 times 1 divided by 12. Yan. 1 divided by 12. 1 divided by 12. 100,000 times 12 divided by 12, we get 1,000. And number 6. Is a retailer's interest expense an operating expense or a non-operating expense? It is a non-operating expense. And so other examples of non-operating expense is interest revenues. Expense of non-operating is interest revenues, diba, gains, loss from lawsuit that are non-operating. Okay, let's proceed. Number 7. The income statement line gross profit, this is the gross profit, is appeared on the multi-step. Diba? Gross profit is computed from deducting sales to its COGS. And number 8. The income statement format that segregates the operating revenues and expenses from non-operating revenues and expenses is the single step. Diba? Nakahiwalay siya. here. Sorry, segregate is operating pala and it's non-operating. And so operating to it's non-operating, it's a multi-step also. Number 9, the interest earned on investments would appear in which section of the retailer's multi-step income statement would be non-operating. Number 10, under the accrual basis of accounting, revenues are recognized in the accounting period in which revenues are earned. Revenues earned are when a service is performed and when goods are delivered. Number 11, the net sales minus cost of goods sold is the gross profit or the gross margin. Number 12, the combination of selling expenses and administrative expenses is the operating expense. So ito, examples, advertisement expense, commission expense, office supplies expense. These are the operating expense. So another thing to consider is that yung cost of goods sold, these are expenses incurred from the inventory itself or from the factory of the business. However, operating expense is incurred in the office and in the store. And operating expense. Number 13, which basis of accounting best measures profitability is accrual. Number 14, gross profit minus operating expense is defined as the operating income of 12,000 in this example. 15, what is defined as sales minus variable expense? It is the contribution margin. So this is tackled in management accounting, where we find the contribution margin, diba, to find the break-even sales. And I will make a separate video about this. Number 16, where on the income statement will a gain on discontinued operations be reported? And even though we have no example here, usually it is below the non-operating activities. So it is near the end. And so what are discontinued operations? Ito yung napag-decide ng company na since nalulugi yung isang division niya o isang part, i-shutdown na nila. So may separate disclosure siya from the main division. Yung number 7, or not main division but the profitable division. Number 17, the corporation's net income will cause an increase to which of the following? It is the retained earnings. And so going back here, diba? Bakit siya retained earnings? Kasi here in the statement of changes in equity, yung net income, nakita natin na in-add siya sa beginning retained earnings na 500 para makuha yung end RE o end retained earnings. Number 18, if a company stock is publicly traded, di ba ibig sabihin ng publicly traded, yung mga Amazon, yung mga Apple, kung saan pwede tayo bumili ng stock, is it a requirement that the earnings per share appear in the income statement? Yes. So ano ba yung earnings per share? It is computed by dividing net income divided by the common shares outstanding. Medyo advanced topic siya. Pero yung madalas na value nito, halimbawa is 6. So ibig sabihin 6 per share. Ginagamit siya sa stock trading. In number 19, are the notes to the financial statements considered to be an integral part of the financial statements? Yes, it is an integral part. Why? Because it's an explanation to the 4 financial statements. It is a supplemental information, di ba? For its external users to understand the financial statement. And number 20, is it acceptable that some of the expenses reported in the income statement be estimates? Yes. Remember that in accounting, all of these amounts, diba? All of these amounts are estimates, and this is not 100% accurate. It would be so expensive and so time consuming to have accurate amounts. And furthermore, what are examples of estimated expenses, diba? Is bad debt expense. Well, we estimate by using statistics, 5% is not uncollectible. Or for example, depreciation expense, we estimate it by using the best depreciation method that the accountant would like to use. So all of these are estimates, but estimate with a good reason. Ayan, and a good base. So this ends our discussion here in the income statement. And God bless everyone.